You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors.
Do you enjoy Star Wars, RPGs, and actual play podcasts? Then you'll love the Starbirds. Here are a few clips from their upcoming season set in Hutt space.
Take a Monchon pickle and throw it to the side, and then put on his just put on the helmet and wait. And he's just like eagerly like sitting out right by the door,
you
looking
just like
out.
sealed your head in a container where you're munching down on a pickle. That's the gases you're causing.
It's a fear factor game.
Yeah.
You get to eat all these pickles inside this jar.
You're alone in the refresher, kid. Kid, please.
He like gets so stressed out and just holds
like
down the button.
singing in the shower and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my god, not again!"
Just like, oh, I'm gonna make a sandwich. Oh, I like these. Oh, mayonnaise on a sandwich. Okay, I'm about to J.K. Simmons from Whiplash.
Start clapping
your ass.
at my
if you cannot get this,
Meanwhile, Gat is just like sweating
I will throw a
profusely like the
cymbal
kid.
at your head.
You can find the Starbirds podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. Find us on Twitter at StarbirdsPod.
You're listening to The Shadows of the Jedi. I'm your host, Ed Fortune, and I will be the games master for this Force and Destiny game. Obviously, I need people to roleplay with in order to play a role-playing game, because apparently you can't do that on your own. That's called writing a novel. Here to funk it. So, I'm here with some lovely friends. So, would you care to introduce yourselves?
My name is Adam and I am playing Tychus Barr. He's the ghost of mistakes made and the promise of a future of ghost horses. Promise of the future of ghost horses.
I'm playing... Sorry, you've just completely thrown me. Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm playing Dalen Kyrain, and he is not the promise of ghost horses. He is the promise of ponies, but not ghost ponies.
Tiny ponies.
Well, all ponies are tiny, right?
Some are. Some are smaller than others.
On the scale of pony to pony, he's about pony.
Tiny ponies live in your bloodstream and they move the Force around. That's how that works.
Thank you, Qui-Gon Fortune.
Hi, I'm Mim. I'm the comedy relief, and I thought I was the surreal one up until the point at which they started this session.
Hi, I'm Ross. I'm the tragic relief. I'm the other one.
So yeah, okay, let's go.
I mean, we're 9 episodes in of our second season of these characters. I'm hoping that people have picked up on our emotional strengths and weaknesses so far. And if you've not, go back and listen to any other episode where we're making slightly more sense.
Okay, I've got a question for Tychus Barr, but I've got a different question because I think something more urgent has come up. Roy, why do you want to know how babies are made? What prompted that question, and has it been on your mind for a while?
Well, if you can put a human spirit in a droid, that's kind of like a new thing, and you can make droids really easily. But if a human dies, how do you make a new human? I mean, can you put like that old human in a new human, or does it have to be a brand spanking new human, and where do you get the parts?
Okay, I feel my question's got more questions attached now. I don't feel I've got to get anywhere towards answers.
So let's play the game. Right.
On the planet of Kinabal, one of the long and ancient civilizations were famous for their very large and very powerful Star Destroyer starcraft, which were distinctive in their X-shaped massive crossbars as they thudded into the planet. They are still sought after as places of technology, places to find treasure. Indeed, on Kinabal, X really does mark the spot. There is a man. He's on the grating of this strange Fecundity Chamber. His eyes glow. He looks angry. He shouts, "Betrayal! Betrayers!"
Can I just quickly check species?
Human. Another 2 tubes open, and crawling out are the same identical physical forms. They are dripping with some sort of fluid. They have white hair. They have very pale skin.
That isn't what I ordered.
There is another tube, a 4th tube, that is currently glowing and moving rapidly. The one that spoke leaps into the air, out of sight, and is now in front of Tychus. which is quite a leap.
Tychus raises one of his hands and goes, good afternoon. We are not betrayers. We are not part of the enemy force that attacked this place. Many hundreds of years have passed, and we're wondering if we can interest you in perhaps some nice robes and maybe a sandwich.
Can I have initiative, please? That'll be a vigilance test, because I don't think any of you are calmly and collectedly waiting for battle.
I got 1 success and 2 advantage.
I also have 1 success and 2 advantage.
3 advantage.
2 success.
So, for the listeners, our initiative order is 1 NPC, 3 PCs, 2 NPCs, and 1 PC. NPC to go first, Ed?
So, the one in front of you, Tychus,
Yes.
he stares at you and he says the words betrayal again. And again, betrayal. He reaches out his hand to you. Ignoring soak, please take 4 wounds.
Oh. What does that look like?
Literally, you feel something being pulled out of you. It's like all of your nice memories are being pulled from you, and we see an image of Tychus, like a ghostly image of Tychus being pulled from yourself and then being snapped back in.
Uh-oh.
It's the most painful experience you have ever had.
Well, given it's 3 PC slots, would anybody mind if I take the first one to react to that?
Go ahead.
Nope.
So Tychus, kind of, the big smile on his face turns into this grimace of pain as part of his soul is torn out. And he takes like staggers back just a step and then goes, all right then, Criffwits, is this how we're playing it then? Takes another step back. As he does so, swings Clementine out of her back holster, brings her up to his shoulder and just fires off a shot. So, in mechanical terms, a manoeuvre to disengage back to short range, manoeuvre to draw Clementine, and then bam. I was going to stun shot, but he's torn part of my soul out. He's getting her full bore.
Yeah.
Do they have any defense?
No, he is literally not wearing anything.
1 success and 2 advantage.
How much damage do you do?
That is 9 damage, and for those 2 advantages, I'm going to give Roy a free manoeuvre, as Roy's Guardian protocols have kicked in, having seen or sensed somehow that this grievous injury has been done to Tychus, and probably hearing his cry and then the very distinctive wham 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 of Clementine being discharged in full scatterblast mode directly into the torso of this dripping clone.
So, you blast a hole in him. He is not dead, but he does fall to the floor in clear pain. It's literally close range blast. He falls to the floor with some impact. He is smoking, but he's still moving.
Okay, next PC.
I'd like to go next.
Okay.
I want to use influence on whoever's nearest to me, possibly more than one, but I think I can only do it at one at a time at the moment. Just reach out with "We are not your enemy." So thoughts of peace.
Make your roll, please. So if it's the opposed difficulty thing, it's 2 reds and a purple.
Okay. So that's 2 failure, 2 advantage, and 2 dark side points, which I'm not going to use.
In which case nothing happens, because if you don't spend the points, nothing happens.
Yes.
You need to call on the dark side to use the force power, so if you want to take the dark side points, you need to tell me.
No, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, it would fail if I did, even if I tried.
Okay, there's a darkness to your target, and for some reason you can't reach out to him.
You still have a manoeuvre though? May I recommend getting out of engaged range?
Yeah, I was going to say duck for cover. It's whatever's nearby. The other side of the vat, I think, it might be the only thing. Further away from them where Roy is. I assume Roy's still in line of sight.
So the easiest place to hide is where this large cylinder is currently vibrating.
Behind that,
Okay then.
not in direct line of sight of whatever might emerge from it.
May I suggest that you use those to advantage then to make sure that when it emerges, it's emerging on the other side of where you are?
Yes, I'll do that, please. Peace isn't working. Somebody else try.
Peace was never an option. Next play character?
I'm just going to shoot them, so you might as well shoot them first, Mim.
Okay. You gave me a free manoeuvre, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So that manoeuvre is to get out, I think, Roy's left arm, which is a ranged heavy. And I can hit at extreme range, so it doesn't really matter where this dude is. So yeah, he's going to yell, "Bad baby! Down!"
Right. You're at close range, by the way, because this is not a very large room.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, this is going to really hurt then.
Do you want to use your normal manoeuvre to aim then for an extra boost?
Ooh.
Because you get a normal manoeuvre for free, so.
Yeah. Let's go for that.
And with them being at short range, it's a difficulty of a single purple.
That's going to make my life very interesting. Here we go.
Which one are you shooting at, by the way? The one that zapped me?
Right, so there's 3 in play. There's 2 that are directly in front of Roy because they've just come out of the vat, and then there's one that's moved like a distance away, but it's still short range, which is next to Tychus. So your targets are either one that's on the ground and has been knocked down by Clementine, or the 2 to either side of you. Regardless, the difficulty would be 1.
Do the 2 on either side of me look angry, like they're about to attack?
Their eyes are glowing in eerie colour, and they are mouthing atrocities. Yes.
I was going to say, different species have lots of different coloured eyes. There's no reason why these eerie, ominous green eyes should mean they were particularly evil. But if I shoot the one on the floor, they're going to attack me anyway. And to be honest, I was hoping for a basilisk. So I'll shoot one of the 2 in front of me. I'll go for the one on the left.
Okay.
That's 2 success and 2 advantage.
How much damage are you doing?
All in all, my damage is 11.
So, Mim, you shoot him in his head, and his head explodes.
Okay.
But you've still got those 2 advantage.
Okay, in that case, I could give the next person a boost, couldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll pass that boost on to Kay.
So there is 1 NPC still to act, 1 having been killed, and then it's K, and then it's back to the top of initiative.
He takes 1 look at the droid, swears in a word you don't understand. It sounds nasty, whatever he says. And then he reaches out his hand to Kay.
What have I done?
That's a very good question. What have you done? Ooh. Can you take 3 unsuckable damage, please? As, again, the most painful thing in your life happens. You feel something pulling from you.
Okay.
There's also tremendous heat to it as well.
Okay.
He also moves. He leaps past you, but he's literally behind you, if you see what I mean. He's still not very far away.
Right.
He's not leaped as well as the other clone.
Okay. What range is this wonderful person?
He's close.
Okay. Kay watches him leap. He hasn't really reacted, other than the fact of the deep pain in his chest as this power is pulled from him. He sighs, shaking off the negative thoughts, and the gun on his holster flips into his hands as I use my quick draw. I am then going to spend my move aiming, and I'm going to shoot him with stun.
Okay.
And I've got a boost from Roy, is that right?
Yep.
That is 3 success and 4 advantage.
Nice.
That is nice.
So that is 3 success, so that's 11 damage. 5 advantage, because I've got a superior setting on this. And with the advantage, I'm going to get some of my strain back, because I've got some strain I'm carrying. I've got 4 left, so I'm going to pass a boost on to the next player, and also crit him.
Okay, so he is down.
Okay, so I'm not going to bother critting him then?
Stun damage is enough to take him out. He is down, he is out for the count.
Mm-hmm. Then I will pass a boost to the next player, and also a boost to Tychus instead. And if the next player is Tychus, then go for your life.
Okay, back to the top of initiative, NPC.
Back to the villain. The clone raises himself up, takes 1 look at an extremely angry, extremely heavily armed basilisk, decides that he can get clothing elsewhere, and bolts for it. He again leaps over Tychus and is running for the door.
Hey, come back, baby!
So he's done a double run then?
Yeah, he is running away. It's back to party.
I'm going to let you guys go. Go for it.
Do you mind if I again react to him doing his thing?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, Tychus, his blood is up, and we all know what happened when Tychus' blood is up.
Uh-oh.
And he's just not having it. He's absolutely not having this. He's come in intending to get peace, and this guy's torn a part of his soul out. So Tychus just turns, raises Clementine, takes aim twice, and shoots him in the back.
Ooh.
So with 2 rounds of aiming, my 2 boosts from K and the accurate weapon of Clementine, my overall dice roll is 5 boost, 1 yellow, 2 green versus a single purple. That is 5 success and 4 advantage. So,
I think you got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 13 damage, and I'm imagining that is enough to kill him.
That would blow him in half.
And then with my 4 advantage, what to do now? What to do?
Well, we're still in initiative because we don't know what's coming out of that number 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Right. 2 of those advantage are going to be spent on giving the remaining clone that's up and conscious a setback die on their next action, because they are shaken by what's gone on here, by seeing one of their brothers get stun shot out, the other one get blown in half by an enraged basilisk who is still just hollering and pumping fire at this. But like, you want to play like that, do you? Do you want to play like that? I offered you a sandwich and this is how you repay me? Have it then! Wham, wham, wham.
There's no one left to be intimidated. You've cut one in half.
Yes.
You've shot the other one in the head.
Oh, right,
The
yes.
third one's been stunned. And all you have now is a pod that's shaking and is probably about to release as soon as it becomes my turn.
Okay, so are we staying in initiative then, Ed?
We'll come out of rounds for now.
Okay. In which case, can I spend those 4 advantage like this? That whatever comes out of this new tube, that's the one that Roy had been monkeying around with, isn't it?
Yes.
Can that come out less immediately hostile because it's not being decanted at a time of immediate war like these clones were? Because these were force cloned to participate in the fight that's been going on, as far as they're aware, outside, hence betrayer. Can this one that's coming out, maybe, because it's been set to a different parameter, there's possibly a different inhabiting spirit, because it's potentially put out there not with the soul of this particular aspect of Rur, who's being force decanted, being a bit more reasonable to conversation for 4 advantage?
For 4 advantage, I will perfectly reasonably compromise at the point that the next turn to come out of that tube will look at the 2 corpses and the 1 stunned companion and realise that perhaps violent strategy is not a good idea. So, yeah.
That sounds perfect to me then, thank you, Ed.
So, you have a stunned person on the ground, and also you have a very eerie looking tube that is shaking and vibrating.
I'm going to shout an order straight away here. I'm going to ask Tychus to look at the machine, make sure it's not going to generate too many more people. I'm going to look after the guy on the deck. I'm going to try and treat the one who's stunned. Look, I'd look at the cloning machine myself, but you're the tech bod.
Yeah, Tychus kind of stomps back into the room, properly and it's a real aggressive stomp. Clementine still kind of smoking in his arms as he walks over. It's like, right, but if this one is also up for a scrap, I'm not playing softball with him. I'm not having it.
No. This one's mine. I made it. It's mine.
Well, we'll just have to see, Roy.
Can Kay watch the one that I'm trying to treat just to make sure he doesn't twitch in the wrong way?
I shoot him with a couple of stun shots again. Yeah.
I didn't say make sure he's dead. I meant, I just said watch him in case he twitches wrong while I'm trying to treat him.
It's on stun. I shoot him again.
Ed, I go over to the machine then.
Okay.
Clementine is still out in my dominant hands. She's not being resheathed at the moment, and Tychus is clearly he's furious. His face is twisted up. And to be honest, the only time you've ever seen him this angry before was on the Razor's Heel when he got shot in the wattle with that poison dart. This is very uncharacteristic for him. This is very unusual.
As you walk past Kay, you see that Kay is... He doesn't look angry. I mean, you saw he got got. He looks kind of a little bit like he's ill. You know, like when somebody has just come out of an illness and they look a bit... Sallow, yeah. He looks like the worst thing in his life has just happened to him again. And every so often, he stun shoots the guy on the floor. When
Tychus notices that, he kind of, without even looking around, and goes, Doc, Kay's your first priority. He's not looking well. Yon unconscious fella can wait.
He's not getting any more unconscious. I shoot him again.
But you keep trying.
Ross, what would you like to do?
I'm going to look at Kay because he seems to be unwell, but I was going to ask in a minute what would the opposition roll be to a medicine check if Kay keeps shooting him while I'm doing it.
I'm quite a good shot.
I'm going to roll medicine on Kay because clearly he's going through something.
Kay, what is your wound threshold?
I have 5 remaining out of 12.
So it's 2 difficulty for the roll.
4 advantage, no success.
He ain't dead.
Oh good, I'm glad Kay isn't dead.
I'm fine, but you don't get stun-shotted.
No, I ran behind that thing over there because it was cover.
So that's not going to do... Are you using a stim pack or anything?
I guess that's going to be the next go-to thing, because, yeah, I'm just going to straightforwardly do something which will actively help him out. So, yes, I will give him a stim pack. I've still got plenty of strain on myself, so I might take some of those advantage on myself.
Yeah, spend it to get rid of your own strain.
Clearly, none of the medicines helped on Kay.
I imagine he's a little bit too agitated to let you go near him. And every time you do get close, he gets a little bit annoyed and shoots the guy with a stun blast again.
I want to treat that guy next. Could you stop shooting at him, please?
Probably. I shoot him again.
Stop shooting at him.
He did something... Did you see that? He did something to us. Is Tychus alright? I felt that was... He goes to shoot him again, but doesn't.
Well, we can restrain him rather than you shooting at him.
I don't think we need to. He's quite stunned.
Well, we came in here to find out answers to questions, and we can't ask him any questions if you kill him.
I won't kill him. It's on stun.
Stop shooting him. Because clearly stun hasn't worked on the other two. They're dead.
That guy has no head. That wasn't a stun shot.
From where Tychus is typing at this console, he just goes, I didn't stun shoot him. He ripped a part of my soul out. Nope.
Is that what he did?
That's what it felt like. You rip out part of my soul, you're getting plasma.
It felt like the worst thing I've ever felt.
It felt like he tore away how to feel happiness.
Yeah, exactly that.
Whether that comes back in time, I don't know. But for the moment, all I do know is, you do that to me, you're getting plasma.
Kay nods. Yeah, and he shoots him a stun again.
I think we've defended ourselves now. Can we, calm down a little bit?
Look, I'm not killing him. We need to talk to him, but you don't do that.
Right, so you've shot him several times with a stun blaster.
Yes.
Doc?
Yes.
If he does that again, he's probably going to kill him.
Yes. Can we restrain Kay in some way? Do either of you have... Can we restrain this guy and restrain Kay? Do we have some restraints between us? Does Tychus have something in pockets?
Kay petulantly puts his gun away and walks to the other side of the room. You're patient, Doc.
The clone is in a very, very bad way.
I'm going to assume that he's probably not moving at the moment anyway, but does Roy have some kind of restraints in a pocket or something? I don't know what equivalent would be, but
Roy presses a couple of buttons on himself, and he comes out with a baby swaddle and one of those child leashes. The kind of thing that people who mistake their babies for pets and pets for babies wear.
Would these help?
Yeah, has it been in a pocket for like 14 years or so?
Maybe.
It's weird because it's got a weird kind of back bit where the arms go through, like there should be extra arms on this harness.
What's even weirder is that Roy's had 3 torso changes since that point and just keeps putting them back in just in case.
You never know when you're going to need them. Case in point.
Exactly. I'd like to make a medicine check on the guy on the deck, while his hands are expertly restrained.
Yeah, please do. Difficulty is 1. That's an improvised restraint. Because it's designed for toddlers. And he's quite a tall, fully grown man.
With only 2 arms.
He looks a lot like that statue of Red, by the way.
I kind of guessed that one, actually.
Okay, I've got 2 success, 4 advantage, and a triumph.
Okay, so that's enough for me to give you the goods. If you want me just to give you the goods.
You have to say, is he not dead then?
He's not dead. He is in a bad way. He's not getting up anytime soon. And when he does get up, he's not going to be, very well. He's got a heck of a hangover to come, essentially.
Yep.
So it's going to take a while for him to recover. Clones don't work this way. As far as you understand clones do not come out of the vats fully formed. Most clones have to be produced, then matured over time, so they can be trained. They certainly don't come out fully combat kit.
No, these have been accelerated for a battle situation in progress.
He is shoddy. As an actual viable biological being, you reckon he doesn't have a very long lifespan.
Longer than his brothers.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Longer than the others.
How would you like to spend your triumph?
See, I'm thinking I want to interrogate him. I want to ask him questions, but...
You can spend it to get him up and at him straight away, or you can pull out some appropriate smelling salts.
Can you deactivate his aggression or something like that?
Yeah, do I have something in my medikit which will, not sedative, but some form of anti-addiction thing which will take the edge off whatever it is that's probably fueled him?
You can fill him with drugs that would make him very hard for him to move. And at the same time, given the fact that he's been repeatedly stunned, it'd probably be a good idea. It'll also keep him awake, if you see what I mean. But he's not getting up anytime soon. The drugs in his system that you're about to pump into him going to restrain him stronger than the restraints. So,
Okay, and if I wanted to do and try and influence him, or if I wanted to try doing that trick which makes my head light up and see whether I could read into anything into him, would I have something which would probably make him more pliable to that kind of technique?
Yes, if you're making a domination roll, if you're doing an opposed roll with his personality, certainly I'd give you some sort of an advantage there.
I'd like to do that then. Unless anybody has any other suggestion of what to do with a triumph, like make sure that machine isn't doing anything else.
Glow ahead.
So I'm healing him to that extent, and now I would like to try and ask him questions, trying to get some level of experience out of him in the however short amount of lifespan we think he's got left.
You think he's probably got about a week left.
About a week? Okay. We can ask him lots of questions in that time. Assuming he knows an awful lot at this point, because beyond Betrayer, and I don't know what he's going to know.
If you sneeze too hard, he's going to have a heart attack and probably die. But if you give him some care, then he's probably going to live probably at least a week. Okay, so he recovers. He's very groggy.
Yep, we've got someone new to look after. Requires a bit more care than a logomorph, but...
Why have you captured me? Where am I?
You're in your birthing chamber, we think. We're not sure who you are. We're not sure what this place is.
You're just lucky I don't like killing people.
We think you were grown to fight in a battle, but the battle's over.
We were betrayed from within. We have been betrayed. Who are you people?
We're the people who just walked into your facility after the battle was over.
Maybe you should have asked that question before you tore part of my soul out, you criff.
You don't look like shadows.
We're not. It's calibration. It's quite a way forward in time.
Where are your new mommies and daddies?
Yeah, that.
The battle's over. There's no need to fight. We don't know what battle you were created for. I don't know who the shadows are. You can tell us.
We are not the Jedi.
Who's in charge of the Galactic Senate?
Supreme Chancellor?
What? Who?
This is a bit of a backwater world. We're here because we don't really keep up to date with that.
Kinabel's not a backwater world.
Oh God, how long have you... What date do you think it is?
I don't know. It's the glorious Galactic Republic. What? What are you telling me?
Calm down. Urba. Have a juice box.
Oh, I take it back. Roy's perfectly qualified for this situation.
So Roy offers him a juice box and goes,
There's some good news and bad news, but the good news is there's not a war at the moment that you need to fight in.
I'm going to need a coercion roll, I think.
okay.
Don't suck the souls of people. It's not nice to do.
So I have 1 green, difficulty
3, please.
Okay.
Spend a light side point. Spend a light side point.
Spending a light side point to upgrade to a yellow. 1 success.
Sweet.
He takes the juice box.
Oh.
He looks really confused when he starts drinking it because it's like he's never recognised the flavour. And then you can see almost the cogs were in his mind. Like you can see him think and go, oh, I've never tasted anything before. That'll be why.
Because he can't move, this must be kind of Roy pulling the juice box to his face and feeding him the juice box.
Yeah.
Which is adorable.
He's like, you can move his hands. He's just very medicated.
All right.
Trying to find a polite way of scooting the bodies of his dead comrades to one side.
Oh, he's already seen them. He's quite clearly already seen them.
Yeah, but Roy might be trying to avoid kicking them too overtly.
Scooching rather than kicking.
And at that point, there is a crack, a sound of liquid moving. Oh, hang on. The only person who gets to see this would be Tychus. Tychus!
Was I able to do anything on the console while they've been caring for the...
So you can see that the whatever's in there is happening. I would like a mechanics check or computers, whatever you think is... Mechanics check, please.
The difficulty?
Would be 3.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a dark side point to turn one of those into a red.
Any setback?
You don't get a setback, nor do you get a bonus. However, the panel is similar to a droid manufacture panel in many ways.
Okay, so my dice pool is 3 yellow versus 2 purple and a red. 2 success, 1 advantage, triumph.
Baby basilisk, baby basilisk, baby basilisk.
What are you trying to achieve?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Unhelpfully. So I was over at the panel basically trying to see exactly what was going on, what was getting ready to be decanted, and what was happening with this whole thing. So you're saying it's like a droid manufacturing panel in several ways.
So the thing that you figure out very early on is that it's not 3 panels, it's one console that is operated by 3 different people.
Okay.
And you stretch out your arms, grab the other 2 panels, and because they're on gimbals, pull them to you. So you get the full panel display. Because you can do that because you've got 4 arms.
Yeah.
Now that you have the full display in front of you, there is a panel that controls the mechanics of it. There's a panel that controls the programming. If you try and do it on one panel, you can sort of do it, but you'll almost certainly mess it up. And there's a panel that, essentially, they're all different settings. What this does is you select the type that you want. You select chamber. It then pulls information from somewhere. There is a storage of information somewhere. If it was a droid panel, that would be the programming.
Yeah.
But that's only got a certain amount of systems in it, if you see what I mean. So the pre-programming, there's a limited store of those. There's one for humans, which is still got like pips in it. The ones for almost everything else are empty. The creature that's in that vat now doesn't have any programming.
So, do I think that would mean they'd come out as a blank slate?
You're not sure. It might come out as a corpse, it might come out as an angry, mindless creature, it might come out as something worse.
Okay.
It looks like what Roy tried to do is he tried to shove some essence that wasn't supposed to go in there into it.
So, what I'm thinking of for my triumph is, now that I've been able to monkey around with this thing and kind of see how the power conduits flow and how it all links up, could I use that triumph to give me some idea how best to rig this place to blow?
Extremely easily. You could set a feedback loop in this particular room, and this room would definitely explode. You're not sure about the rest of the building, but given the fact that it's one of the biggest draws, you could probably create a feedback loop. You'd probably have to find at least one other place that draws power.
Then can I use my advantages to identify another place that draws power somewhere within this system?
So the 2 best choices would be the Ascension room, which you've not been in, or the, let's call it the Transformer room, because you don't have a better term.
Right at the top of the pyramid.
Which is at the top of the pyramid.
Okay. Well, that's it from me. I think that's about right. I'm quite happy with those spends.
Are you trying to... Right, so you're not trying to stop the process that's going on at the moment?
No.
And at that point, there is a cracking sound, and something emerges from the tube. And we'll leave it there.
And before we go, this episode's patron is Sai, the original Green Machine. Sai is an old and very dear friend to certainly myself, and I'm pretty sure the entirety of the cast. We've known him, got to be going back 20 years or something crazy like that now. He's been one of our biggest cheerleaders over on the Facebook, and we're just stoked that he's been with us on this journey from the start and has now joined the ranks of our backers. Thank you for being here with us, and we shall see you, and indeed everybody, next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.